I'm Mark Perry.
KTUI time is 10:05, and the current temperature is 53 degrees. I'm Sam Scott for KTUI.
Grandma named him Darwin. And so
Get ready.
Hey, good morning and welcome back. Here we are live at the White Mule Winery on the high plains of Gasconade County. What a pick fall day we have here. Absolutely gorgeous. 55 degrees here at airtime and a blue sky and color everywhere you look. Wow. If this ain't your time of year, I'll take it, because this is absolutely my favorite time of the year, and it's gorgeous, and I'm just glad that you're here this morning. But if you step out and check things out outside, or if you're out walking with your headset on, just appreciate the glory and the beauty of where we live and what it is right now. We would be in want, though, of a little more rain. We had maybe hardly a couple of tenths here, but even that little bit woke things up just a little bit, maybe kind of wash some dust off or whatever, but we would happily take some more. But we enjoy the weather at this time of the year, and Gracie really kind of enjoys it because the weed eating is getting less and less, isn't it?
I don't do much of that anymore around
Well,
here.
I've noticed. What do you do here anyway? You know? No, she doesn't. But she does do. Mom says she does stuff.
That's all that matters, as long as she sees it.
No, she's. I would hate to think I give her trouble, but I'll just tell you a secret. I'd kind of hate to do without her at this juncture here, because she once in a while gets.
You can say it. It's okay.
Hey, we are thankful that you're on KTUI 1560 AM this morning, or 94.1 FM, or possibly you're watching us live on Facebook. If you are, you'll see that we have two guests here at this juncture from the Gasconade County Health Department, and after we're done with them, we're going to have another guest come in today and talk with us. So, but the Gasconade County Health Department is here. They are putting on a health fair. I'm not sure exactly. I have to ask why they call it a fair. But there's a lot of different things there. But it is a great thing for the community. It's great for the people that use it. And we have two guests here. One, the first time that Kenna Fricky, the administrator of the Gasconade County Health Department, is here, and Susan Steinbeck. She tells me it's the first time she'd been on the radio here, but I was thinking she had been here because I see her often. Right. You're here often, and I know you and your family very well, so good to have you back.
Thank you.
And so, Kenna, we'll start with the Gasconade County Health Department. You told me you had been the administrator for approximately a year. Is that correct?
Yeah, this month, coming up on a year. Greg Laura was the previous administrator and was here through the worst of COVID. Like I said, I have been in public health. I started at Montgomery County back in 2014. But like I said, I was lucky enough to have Greg for the first several months. And then he retired, officially went to New Mexico, living the good life.
Wow.
And loving retirement. So January 1st, I took over solo with my great team, with Susan and the board and the staff there.
And you do have a good team. I remember when I was in county commission that we had a great administrator at that time, and I don't think people really understand. I think maybe COVID maybe give people some more understanding of the local health department and the role they play in public health. But it's even though that was a baptism of fire for a lot of the people in the health department, and not here. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, although I know you had to work tremendously hard, because been inundated by the amount of questions that you had to answer. And if we can't come up, I mean, if they can't come up in Washington D.C. with exactly the right answers all the time, wonder how we can, be expected to come, or you can be expected to come up with exactly the right answers too.
Yeah, and honestly, we could probably do a whole hour talk show on COVID alone. It was definitely a crazy time in public health, and yes, ever changing. And you would have thought we had some inside scoop, but we never did. We heard things on the news and released by the CDC the same time that everybody else did, and then immediately took on the calls. And it was a trying, very different time. A lot of crazy hours. I remember seeing on Facebook all the parents, their kids driving them crazy at home, and I'm like, I just want to go be with my kids. So anyway, it was a very, and honestly, I didn't even take it all in till it was kind of done. I remember the day we quit contact tracing, and it was almost like it was like the first time I let myself almost cry about it. It was such a crazy time. But I'm thankful that we're moving forward. And I don't think people realize, communicable disease is something health departments have done forever. That's part of the reason we were started. We make those calls and do tracings and follow up on a whole, there's 3-page lists of things that, are possible hazards, foodborne illness, those types of things that could be spread. And we continue to make those calls, and tick-borne disease and lots of things. But COVID, just a lot more people got calls. So
Right.
A lot more people were aware of what we were trying to do. So.
Well, you couldn't get away from it. Everything you did was totally impacted by it, and brought up questions in regard. I know that, they governed. And let's talk just a little bit before we get into the fair, because I think fundamentally, a lot of people don't realize that we have a local health board that really sets a lot of the direction, and a lot of the decisions made by, the Gascony County Health Board, and they're local.
Yeah, it's all local, and they've done a great job of recruiting so that we have, north and south, we have both, the whole county represented on our board. It's 5 individuals, and they've all been super supportive. They give their time, they show up. We've had to move to virtual during COVID like everybody else, but they're always supportive. They want what's best. They're all about bringing services and just trying to be, stewards of that tax money, and what services can we bring? What can we do with that? So.
Do we still share with Osage County to some degree?
We do not. No,
Okay.
Osage is now a
We did
separate.
it one time.
Yes, they used to be combined, and their own. They have a department in Lynn.
Okay.
And it's another newer administrator, and you saw that a lot in public health. I think 1 in 4 administrators left during COVID. So it is a new, fresh batch. And, I think we'll see a lot of changes in public health, hopefully great changes. COVID kind of showed a lot of where the shortcomings and miscommunication, all the way, federal, state,
Right.
the whole way down. So
And we're
there's-
just getting into some of the bottom of that, and some of the backroom discussions, that are occurring now. So I think suffice to say that when and probably will have to use it again somewhere down the road, but I think lessons have been hopefully learned on what to expect. It's anytime you work with the entire public, though, there's going to be opinions, you know what I'm saying, and rightfully so on one thing or the other. So I just hope we haven't, to some degree, spoiled the porridge, because I believe the vaccinations are extremely important. I do believe personally they helped, and I'll take those, even though I had COVID and all the vaccinations too. But I think, but not all of my friends and neighbors believe that, and so that's their prerogative. There's no question about it. So.
And with vaccines, we're all about personal choice and you visiting with your providers and, each individual person's risk factors, but we've tried to make it as available as possible. We do Monday through Friday, both offices walk in.
You do, so you got the extra booster now?
Yeah, we have the bivalent booster. It's anybody that's completed a primary series, as long as they're 2 months out from whatever last dose they've got, then anyone's eligible. So,
I have to get my last booster yet, so we'll have to get that done.
yeah, so like I said, Monday through Friday. And
Are you going to do that part of the health fair or no?
we're going to have flu vaccine for sure. I was talking to the girls. I think they were maybe going to try. We're still just what all we can
I
basically
understand.
having them split. So flu, absolutely. They talked about bringing COVID too. So
Very good.
One of the nice.
I would recommend that if you could, you know what I'm saying, because it's another opportunity
to
to,
reach some people that
you know.
One of the nice things that we've been able to do with the health department is have the Owensville office open 5 days a week now. And that's something I think the public's not aware of.
Yeah, Greg had opened that clinic 2 days a week to hit WIC and some birth certificates, and then that was they had put a lot of work in that building and it really got it a nicer building to do
Yes.
services. And just, you know, our two biggest cities in the county are, you know, a lot of distance between them, so we felt like it was important to bring all those services now that we're out of COVID and, like I said, really trying to get back to everything that we do, not just COVID. So Owensville is open now Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, the same as Herman. So they're both open full-time.
Just kind of a, Susan, or you know, when we get our shots, how are the records, you know what I'm saying? How are they kept in
So,
regard to that? Because I got some of my doctor, I went to the pharmacy to get some, and they seem to be able to know.
The intercross, so yeah, ideally they do. So the state of Missouri has what's called Show Me Vax.
Okay.
So that is an online electrical record. So anybody that have, you know, the medical clinics, even the school nurses, people, they have access, and they can enter in the immunizations we give. So ideally, that's to help. When you know, if you get something in the health department, we enter it, your primary can look it up and say, this is, you know, where you're still missing. And we can, you know, it hasn't been around forever, so a lot of our, you know, she's young, our children now should have all of their, you know, by the time they leave and go to college, they should hopefully have this beautiful printout and it has everything and it's real easy. A lot of us adults are kind of trying to piece together, and you know that can be difficult. You start a new job, you got to show you have the, you know, and you're piecing all these. So feel free to bring them in. We can add them historically so that you have all of them in one.
You know, that's
spot.
awesome, because even my group of doctors that I go to, I mean, truthfully, it's a lot better now than it ever has been. You know, they do a
But it was a lot of
job.
handwritten little baby
Oh my
records
gosh,
and-
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
so-
you know, what are you on now? What, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I know they have to do it just to check or whatever, but you know, it's interesting. You know, just.
But
to some
immunizations
degree,
are still, you know, getting even adults, you know, and seniors especially. There's a lot of important vaccines, and I have people coming in and they're getting, you know, multiple COVID. They're trying, but then when we look at the record, yeah, they're missing pneumonia vaccines. You know, they're missing that tetanus shot. It's not uncommon for that to go decades and decades through middle, you know, unless you end up in an urgent care or, you know, you have a wound, a bite, something
Right.
like that, but otherwise it gets missed for a long time. Another immunization that's really Shingrix, the shingles vaccine.
I've
you
been
know.
considering that.
Yeah,
You know?
well, it's a great time to come and visit us.
Okay.
Medicare doesn't always cover for Shingrix. It can be pretty expensive. What's unique about, you know, Shingrix and shingles vaccine compared to a lot of them is we see shingles. So people want that vaccine and they're willing to pay for that vaccine. Like I said, it can be around $200. So right now we have a program through the state though. We have a stock of Shingrix. If your insurance does not cover it, then we have it available. It's a $20 asking fee. If you don't have it, we'll give it to you anyway. It just doesn't get billed to your insurance.
From someone that had shingles,
Yeah.
I guarantee that I would invest
Yeah.
way more than $200
Yes.
in order not to get it, because it is not a fun thing. And I was a very young man, you know. I mean, I was, which you wouldn't necessarily think, but it was, you know, right after I got married. I might have been under a little stress.
Let's say the stress, you know, illness, age, and all of us sitting here, anybody that had chickenpox or varicella as children, we all did. You know, everybody, pretty much 99% of anybody born any time ago. So anyway, everybody that had chickenpox, the varicella lays dormant. As we age, we get stressed, we get, you know, sick. We just simply get older. Then it comes out as shingles.
Well, that's,
So, and it can cause pain some people for the rest of their life, you know, years, months.
I know I was broke out on my back, and it was miserable for, I mean, it was 6 months or so after we got married, but we happened to be in Minnesota I was doing some work, and kind of hit me right then, and it was ugly, you know, but.
It is.
Susan, tell me about the health fair coming up here, and the whereabouts and what we're going to be doing.
Okay. I wanted to first say I'm Susan Steinbeck. I'm the director of Gasconade County Special Services. So our program is for people of all ages with a developmental disability. So we have, you know, our program in the county, shop.
Sure.
And so I always talk about the meeting after the meeting, you know, while we're talking, people go, oh, I need to talk to you after about that. That's been very successful. So out of that, we formed the Gasconade County Health Alliance. And that's a collaboration of local agencies that come together to talk about the health needs in the county. And we've been able to do surveys and kind of determine what we think are the top 5 concerns in the county. Of course, it's always the mental health and the drug awareness. And so out of that, we got a grant and made this brochure, Local and National Resources for Community Members in Crisis. It's a very nice trifold brochure, and that is now going out in all the ambulances, the fire trucks, the police have these. We also leave them like at the medical clinics and stuff, but they're really, you know, they can just pick up, and there's Narcotics Anonymous information, there's food and shelter, there's quite a variety of different resources here, but it's all in one nice little brochure. So then
And when you talk about mental health, I mean, you're talking about a huge area of concern, and it impacts us all.
Well, and the statistics of after, you know, with the COVID and all of those things alone have generated a whole different issue, type of mental health. And kids at school or not being able to go to school, that's created a lot of different needs in itself. So this is our project, and of course, if Charlie knows how I am, once I finish something, I'm like, what are we going to do next? So we decided it was time to have a health fair. We've had those in the past, and then with COVID, we weren't able to have them anymore. So this one is going to be Friday, tomorrow. Oh, that's tomorrow. October 14th. It's at First Baptist Church in Owensville, and they have Family Life Center, so it's kind of a big gymnasium area to the side. And you would enter on the First Street side of the Baptist Church. There's doors there. And we're going to have a lot of door prizes. I think I have over almost 30. So we'll be giving those out through the time, not just one grand door prize. We'll be calling those out, drawings, and then we're going to have a bingo card that everyone, if you visit every booth and get your bingo signed, then we're going to draw one of those for then a grand prize drawing. So we have, and then we're going to have so it's a fair because there's food, there's free things, there's giveaways, and lots of information, so that's why we call it a fair. Simply Sweet will be having their food trailer outside. They're calling it Simply Sweet on the Go. Biscuits and gravy and pastries, and the bubble tea, that's kind of a new thing, and it's cool. They have that. Different
bubble
coffees.
tea?
Yes, it has little bubbles of flavor that's in your tea. And she has, I've had them before, they're tapioca flavored, but hers are fruit flavored. And when you bite it, like I had one that was strawberry, really cool, but they just float around in your tea, and it's a really cool thing for Owensville to have. Do you know about bubble tea, Gracie?
Do not.
There's a wine idea. You know what I'm saying?
I need to have it now.
There we go.
Maybe a little bubbles of wine. wine, no.
A little
And your
Buffalo
tea.
Millside, and, exactly,
So you will have that outside, and then MOCA, which is Missouri Ozarks Community Action. They'll have their mobile unit outside, and they'll be able, on the spot, to take applications for energy assistance and those types of things. So that's going to be a plus, because
Wow.
in the past, the people have had to go to them, and they're in Richland, that's not convenient.
No.
So they've started this mobile unit, and so that's going to be really cool.
What a program you've put together there. What a great service, because it truly is a one-stop shop. And, you know, people are, I think, are aware of all the issues. I think, you know, television and vaccinations and those things.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I look at all of the old TV programs, because every commercial is about, you know,
Right. Yes.
this vaccine or that
Right.
vaccine or shingles, you know, or whatever. But it's a great service, you know, and right now timing is perfect,
Well, that's
because
what we thought.
it's the time that I get my flu shot, you know, and the pneumonia shot, I always kind of think, yes, I've had that, right, you know.
Well, there's two different.
I understand that too,
There's
but
two
I think
different
I've had them
ones,
both. But how's an old guy supposed to remember
You
all
bring
of
them
it?
in, and we'd be happy to review it and show you what the recommendations if you're.
Well, that's the remarkable thing, and that's why I mentioned it earlier, because the record keeping, you know what I'm saying, of this stuff
Yeah.
is tremendously important, and it have a central database, you know, in order to do that, brings medicine up way, in my opinion,
Yeah.
brings that to that other level that, you know, just a few years back, you know, you didn't know. You had to communicate with your other doctors throughout your life and figure out, you know, when you had your last tetanus shot, you know, and those things. So
One of the other things we're excited to offer are some free screenings. So like Potential Therapy is going to do movement screening. We've got a couple different providers doing blood pressure and blood sugar screenings. And some of that too is just we've all been so busy with the COVID and those types of things, and we're trying to get people to go back to paying attention to their general health. And then the rehab services for the blind, they're going to provide a vision screening. So we've got.
how do you got that connection?
I do. I have connections, Charlie.
Yeah,
I have
and
a lot of
just
connections.
to clarify from the beginning, like I said, this is Susan, and through her that is put on the health fair.
But
She
you are
invited the health department
affiliated,
there. We're going to
right?
be a vendor, and one of our nurses, Brittany, has helped out, you know, everything that she can. But this is Susan and her programs. Like I said, she just one of those hats is with our health department, so she.
It's a great idea, though, building these alliances and
Yeah.
collaboration, you know, between these things. You know, it's not a single source situation where it's tremendously confusing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and even as, like I said, a new administrator, a lot of this last year is just learning. I mean, Gaston County is blessed. There's so many resources, and which
Right.
ones are working on the same thing, who needs to get together, you know, to make sure that everyone's aware. And that's what these care teams and special service, you know, a lot of them are crossing. So how do we make sure that, you know, if one person makes it to Susan, they now have access, like I said, to how many different organizations that might be able to fill a different need.
Yes,
I have one question that people have asked me. It is for all ages. We're trying to have something that appeals to everyone. It's not just, you know, your senior citizens. Crawford Electric's going to do interactive activity about electric safety. MRPC,
Wow.
the Planning Council, they're going to have their Buckle Buddy, which is a program they have about car seat safety, things like that. So I've got I think we're at 35 different providers now.
Wow,
So-
you're going to, that's,
And we're trying to get, like, I've got them in categories, and we're trying to really, you know, hit each category. I've got some from, you know, hospice and the medical clinics, but we also have Oaks Transit's going to be there. PinMac talking about, you know, helping people find employment. So we've got a nice.
it is a fair. There you go. Now I'm understanding.
Gracie,
Do you have
Gracie,
wine
Gracie,
tasting?
Yeah, we could do that. Well,
No,
probably not not in the Baptist church, but we might.
It may not go over so good. I'm just, my audience knows me, so don't worry about that.
Well, we are, and so that, we're just really excited and anxious to get the word out to people because there is hopefully something for everyone, and the providers are just so anxious to get back out and meet people and let them know
Very
this
true.
is what they do, and we've all kind of been in that little bubble for so long, so now we want to just get out and have a good
Celebrate
time.
health.
And you never know, you might not think you have any needs, but when you walk in, you might meet someone that you need to talk to, so.
Well, it's certainly being unexposed for a lot of people, and I can tell it in here at things, for a year or two had been different. Not to, we were continuing busy, but there's a lot of people that just didn't get together. We have a lot of family reunions. We're kind of between St. Louis and Jeff City or whatever, and a lot of those families would come in here regularly. But when they're elderly, and COVID, so it just didn't happen. And for you guys getting out and putting a program like this together, I absolutely congratulate you. It's a wonderful deal. So again, this is going to be tomorrow at
the First Baptist Church in Owensville.
At what time?
From 9 to noon.
From 9 till noon.
Yeah.
And do you have a website that they can go to or anything to
There
get
are some flyers. If you go to the health department's Facebook, I think we've got the flyer on there. And we've tried to put them up around town.
Yeah.
So that's it's an awesome thing, and I appreciate you coming in here and sharing it. And by the way, I think what you have brought up today, as far as both of your programs, need further discussion. So I'm going to.
He's inviting us back.
Well, that's what I brought a quick, just as a fun, because we do offer so many services that people, I don't know, do I have a minute to highlight a couple?
Go
Just,
right ahead,
is that all
absolutely.
right? So
We're going to talk about bulls up here.
Yeah, I know.
I'll
try to summarize, but we have a lot of great programs. So just so you know, like I said, vital records, so birth certificates, death certificates, they're available both offices Monday through Friday. I know some people get them online and shipped. You could just go into your local health department and they'll print them right there.
Is there a fee for that?
There is. That's set by the state of Missouri. You do have to be born in the state of Missouri. You need a photo ID, but it's $15 for a birth certificate, $13 for a death. So like I said, just come on in the office. Both offices do the WIC, so that's Women, Infants, and Children. It's a supplemental nutrition program, and what's great about that program is not only that supplement for the income to get those healthy foods, but it's a nutritionist, and you actually get education. We're monitoring, their height and their weight and growth, doing some developmental screenings, checking lead level. It's just so much more. They have made it convenient. It's on a card now, and they've increased those guidelines, so a lot more people are eligible to get those benefits.
Sure.
Just last month we served 135 people through the Owensville office and 62 through the Herman office. So it's a great
Awesome.
program. And like I said, they've made it a lot more convenient. It's on a card, so it's not, you're not giving these paper vouchers anymore, and they've updated it. It's such a nicer program. And they do a great job with it. Environmental services and some of our audience too. Don't forget we do well water testing. That goes to the state. We got a courier. Everybody that has a well should get it tested at least once a year, more if you're having issues.
We do, I think, every 6 months here. We go
Yeah.
through the state, of course. I guess that's funneled through you. I'm not exactly sure.
Every quarter.
Yeah, I think Thomas came out and collected here recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's bringing that back to the health department. We have a courier and it goes through them. And then, Thomas Bocher, I'm sure you've met him out here too. We've been doing, he's our environmental. He does the retail food, lodging, childcare sanitization, sewage complaints, those types of things go through him. We already mentioned the communicable disease and what we've been doing. That's something new that we've added to the departments though is STI testing and treatment. So people who don't have insurance or have been informed they've been exposed to something or having something can come, we can do some basic testing and treat for that as well right there in the office. Hepatitis C screening, we do that through the Hep C Alliance. So we can do a free screening. Every adult over the age of 18, needs to be is recommended to be screened. And again, more if you have some of those higher risk factors. But it is on the rise, and unfortunately in all ages.
Yes.
It's like over 60% of the cases in the last few years have been in that like childbearing age. So then we're dealing, not only with
Double risk,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
regard. There's no.
so same thing. So come in, let us.
We
screen
will,
this
and we
simple-
will absolutely have you both back, okay? And, whenever, because these are relevant issues, and keep them front and center to the people, and just let them appreciate, really what kind of services are out there at no charge, for the most part,
Yeah,
or
and a lot of
limited.
them, very limited. Their setup is asking fees most of the time. There are a few, like those birth certificates, that goes to the state, we gotta pay that. But the services that we provide, they're asking fees. They're minimal, just to help us out. If you can't, we're still gonna do that service. One other big, huge one though that has helped a lot of people is we offer low cost lab services now. So, just a crazy reduce. Most people can get all of their screening blood work for less than $20.
Wow.
Get like a CBC, a CMP, and they want like come and see us. They're great. So it's perfect for people that either don't
Yeah.
have insurance or have those high deductibles. You get that several $100 bill in the mail, and so then that prevents them from getting those labs and following up with their physician because they don't want to pay that. So please come and see us at either office, and drastic savings for that.
I think they will, because in this economic climate, that we're into, it's the available cash has been, in a lot of cases, been absorbed with other essentials. So I appreciate both of you being here. Good to see you, Susan.
One more.
Yes. She definitely.
We just have so much. We're also, like I said, we've really been trying to mobilize and get out to people and make it as easy as possible. The girls are going to be at the Rosebud City Hall next
Okay.
Wednesday the 19th from 1 to 4. And that's an open flu clinic. I can ask them to bring COVID too. I'm sure they'd be happy to. But I think that's specifically what we've worked out now, is trying to bring that. So if it's hard for you to get out, you got parents, whatever, bring them up. We can do it. Right there in the car if we need to. So, 4 flu vaccines. Most insurance covers flu, and we just bill insurance. But we do also have a stock, again, if you don't have insurance or it doesn't provide well, we can give it to you at no cost or minimum. So come and see us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll let you ladies just, you can leave, or you can sit down and listen to a lot of bull.
Well, we gotta go get ready for the big health fair.
Because
We'd love to hear.
Well,
Gracie will take care of your feed while I bring on Mr. Gerloff here.
Well, and I can embarrass
You know?
Dakota by saying I used to babysit his dad, so maybe it's embarrassing to me. I'm not sure how old I am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, but there was a lot of information here that we just went through, so I guarantee you we'll invite them back as we have, and they will, I'm confident, be back and talk more about, Gasconade County Health Department and their alliance that they have put together. It's a very good thing. And Mr. Gerloff, what a
Charles, how are
pleasure,
you?
Dakota. I am great. It's good to have you here today, and it's always a pleasure to talk cows and
Yeah.
talk cattle on the show. And the Gerloff Farms have been around about as long as anybody in the county, raising cattle, raising Angus cattle specifically. And I'm trying to think on your show barn, when you was established. What year was that?
1906.
1906. That's a long time.
It's a pretty good while.
And Dakota, you're the 4th generation?
I'm the 5th.
You're the 5th generation.
I'm the 5th, and my daughter would be the 6th.
Wow.
So
That's about like the Schlottic clan,
we're,
you know what I'm
we're
saying?
catching up to you, I think.
Yeah, you are. No question about it at all. Well, your name and the quality of the cattle, and actually I'm going to say your family's passion for producing livestock and producing. You used to raise hogs. You probably don't remember that, but I do.
Yeah,
You
very.
know.
I don't remember a whole lot. I know I was around a little bit whenever Dad was kind of getting out of it there, but I don't remember a whole lot of it. I do know he don't miss it at all.
I couldn't believe that. I understand that, but your passion has always been cattle, and have did so much in so many areas. But one of the things I think that you're known for, and not only the bulls and the breeding stock, but you know, your family has did so much with the youth in our county, doing show cattle, you know, and steers, and really, in my opinion, brought you know, the Gasconade County Fair sales to a level that is absolutely fantastic, and it helps so many kids, and the root of that is right in Gerloff Farms, or in my opinion. You know, I mean, other people were involved with it,
no
but
doubt.
I don't think nobody, or few, had the passion and put as many kids with a halter in their hand than you guys. So that's got to be satisfying to some degree, and taken every level of accomplishments in regard to that, local fairs and even the state fair.
Well, and even nationally.
Nationally showing these club calves. But today we're going to talk about your upcoming sale here coming up this week.
2 days.
So you got the health fair to compete with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now we're pretty excited about the offering we got this year. We're going to have about 80 bulls, Angus and Sim Angus, and about 120 females, whether that's fall calving cows, spring calving cows, spring bred heifers, and fall open heifers. So we got pretty much a little bit of everything for everybody.
That's, you know, I can't imagine what it takes to put an offering like that together, because, I mean, we got a fair amount of pens of cattle, you know what I'm saying, in different sectors.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many pens of different cattle Gerloffs have had, because, you know, you got registered and you got some commercial, right?
Yeah.
And, but, you know, you got bulls on feed, you got these heifers, you got it all, and, you know, they all have to be in show condition, and be able to go in that ring, and there's a lot to it.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but that's what we like.
And most of this is done, a lot of it is done by family. You got some good hired hand too, but
pretty much just my grandpa, my dad, my uncle, and then me, and then we do have some part-time help here and there come in if we, like right now, we're getting ready for a sale. We have people come, and good friends that hunt on the place and stuff like that, and they're always real good. It wouldn't be possible without, you know, their volunteered help.
Takes you know, a lot of hands, there's no question. Well, you know, specifically when we look, we've had numerous year bulls. I think we're housing one right now, you know, that we had, and we love him, you know, because he is the type that, doing what we're doing, we're looking for thickness, of course, and we're looking for bulls that don't get too terribly framey, because we want to, you know, our objective is to try to have, you know, a very youthy calf, you know, that we butcher and slaughter, you know, 17, you know, 19 months in that neighborhood, and we really don't want, you know, them 1,500-pound cattle. You know, we want something where the ribeye, when we cut it, we can cut it an inch thick, and it becomes a pound to offer to our patrons here, and that's fairly select. You know what I'm saying? Because that, you know, that while the industry standard, I think they're growing a lot bigger cattle.
Yeah, it seems like nowadays the big locker plants are wanting them 1,500-pound, you know, carcass steers, and that's a good thing kind of about our bulls. It seems like we got bulls that kind of do something for whatever your, you know, end goal wants to be, you know, whether that's for you guys one little smaller calf that weighs a little bit quicker turnaround time, you know, from start to finish, or if like that, we got guys that finish, their steers out also, but they send them out, out to
Right.
Kansas and Iowa and, all over, and some of them want bigger frame bulls, and
Right.
so like I said, that's kind of something unique about the cattle that we raise. They're not all the same. They're all good quality, but we got just a little bit of, something kind of just for whatever you want to do.
Well, and, because I don't know this necessarily, but I'm guessing that the majority of your bulls go to commercial breeders. I'm sure some are syndicated, what I'm saying, and go to other registered breeders, I'm sure, but the majority of your customers, aren't they?
I would say probably at least 90%, if not even more than that. That's what we try to focus mainly on, is our, that's what all of our bulls, and mainly cattle for that matter, that we sell will stay within 250-mile probably radius of the farm. There's a few will go out of state, but for the most part, they're
local.
pretty dang local.
They're pretty local, and that that means your reputation precedes itself, because if you can satisfy their needs, what I'm saying, and keep those customers coming back, because the criteria for any commercial breeder that is trying to meet some objectives, you've got to have a bull that does it all, because a lot of these bulls, one or two bulls, I'm sure, go to a lot of your customers, and you want not only carcass, competitive carcass data on them.
Yeah.
You also have to look at the maternal side, which is what we're all strive for,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
To have, the maternal, side that is, going to be there for the kids and the grandkids, and having, all of those genetics in one package.
Yeah.
Takes some work.
Yeah, that's what we kind of strive for. We want to have a bull that, his EPD say he can do just about everything, and that's kind of what we shoot for. Some bulls, are more terminally driven. Some bulls are more maternal driven. So, we try to combine them all, get them, where they can all do the job. But
And the Angus Association and you, it's more than opinions. You've got some real data, what I'm saying, following the EPDs of these generational bulls that have predictability to, weaning weight and birth weight and maternal characteristics, and that takes a lot to keep all that information together and keep it current.
yeah, that's a job in itself, just keeping track of all the, birth weights, weaning weights, yearling weights, all them. Really, there's a lot more than that, just that, but it's a lot to keep track of. That's why, Kim, she does most of the bookkeeping
Does
like
she?
that, and I would not
My
want that
God, I
job.
want her.
She,
I want,
it
but-
takes a lot of long nights, and it can be chaos.
And even for us, the simple things that we do, we all, we don't keep individual birth weights.
Right.
We don't have to do any of that. But just the simple things like, what kind of calf did this cow raise, or is she pregnant or not?
Right.
We even err sometimes.
Oh,
in
it's
regard-
easily done.
In regard to, just keeping those numbers correctly, and what was it,
Right.
And we just called some cows that we had preg checked earlier because they was out of the heifers, and it's a constant battle to keep it up, and I'm looking for some magic bullet, and some magic bullet that I hate to talk into my iPhone or anything, but something that would, if I said something, would put it all down and it would be done.
Yep.
But so far I haven't seen that.
No, it can be a challenge sometimes, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, there's no question about it at all. Well, you've got a lot of numbers mama cows here, you know what I'm saying, to be able to pick from. You've got a lot of genetic differentials,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, in your breed stock from both maternal and the sire side, and that's what I guess makes you successful to not only have good cattle, but being able to you know, bring to the public those specific genetics that people are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, even our own cattle, I mean, if they don't work for us, they're not gonna work for the customers we're gonna sell them to, so that's a, you know, that's a pretty big thing we take into consideration, you know. These cattle gotta work for us and more for the customers.
And you know, this might sound crazy to you, but one of the things that I like about your bull is really easy to work with.
Yeah.
You know, you can start him out of other bulls and whatever, and he's not overly aggressive, you know, where he wants to fight the other ones all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And Gracie can go out there and move him around. And disposition is so important to me,
Yeah.
you know, because I ain't as fast as I used to be, and you know, it's just important to have, you know, and I don't care who you are, you're going to have cows that are heady.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just going to happen, but keeping them to a limit and then getting rid of those, you know what I'm saying, pretty quickly is important.
Yeah, that's something we watch pretty closely. Is a lot of these customers of ours, you know, they got grandkids or, you know, even just
Exactly.
kids, you know, and we want to tell them if there is something, you know, in the pen that's can be a little bit more aggressive if you get him by himself. We want to make them aware, you know, of that. So we don't want to have any problems. You know, that's our number one goal.
No, it's so you are offering how many head? You said 180? What
Yeah, about 190, I think.
190 head
Yeah.
coming this Saturday. What time does the sale start?
Sale starts at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Lunch will begin about, I think we'll have some burgers around probably 11 or so.
That's a big day. You know, all of the community, and I'm going to do my best to get there this year because I said I would, but you have the whole community shows up.
Pretty much.
You know, around you, plus your customers.
Yep.
And it's a pretty good bull session, ain't it?
It is, and if there's anybody listening that maybe don't need a bull or something this year, I still invite them, you know, come down and, you know, just to experience it. You know, it's a pretty neat deal. There's not a whole lot of that around here, so.
There is not much of that around, and less all the time, because, you know, to actually have hands-on, a lot of people have went totally to the internet, online, and you know, that's you know, for a lot of shopping.
It's convenient.
I just like to have hands-on.
Yep.
You know, especially like on those kind of things or whatever,
Right.
and so it'll be a big day. How long will that go in the evening?
Oh, if it starts around 1, it'll take us probably an hour and a half to get through the bulls. It'll probably be about 3 hours, I'd say, 3 to 4 hours.
Who's the auctioneer?
His name is Clint Hunter. He's from down around Springfield.
Did he do your sale last year?
He's done it the past, probably 4 or 5 years, I'd say.
I know you've had some outstanding sales, you know, recently because your genetics and the cattle market is, you know, it's kind of up and down to some degree, but you know, it is. It's strong, you know, at this juncture, and it has to be, you know, because their input costs are, you know, kind of through the roof. So, you know, this all makes, got to make sense to follow these EPDs, follow these efficiencies on what they are, and really have a program that you have numbers around, you know, so you can have predictability in what you're doing. So, you know, these, you know, and we got some of them, you know what I'm saying? Some of these big old cows, you know, that don't milk all that well, and takes a whole bunch of groceries.
Takes twice as many groceries to get them fed,
You know what it's like, you know.
And I know, you know, things right now don't look all that great, but I think if people can look past right now, I think these next couple of years are probably going to be probably two of the best years that we've probably seen in probably quite a while. So I think if people kind of look past that, you know, and if they got an older bull that they need to get rid of, you know, he's been around for a long time, get rid of him and bring in something new, because really 2 years from now you're going to be having, you know, the next calf crop, you know, to sell, and you want to get your most bang for your buck whenever that time does come.
And you know, your bull buying strategy, you need to have them, in my opinion, have them bulls around a while. Give them a little offering on your farm, a few heifers, or you know, second calf heifers or something like that, to get them used to your management, you know, how you do things. You know, you take you know, a lot of these hard-fed bulls, you know, and I've never seen any of yours not hold together, in all honesty. But, you know, you take a lot of these hard-fed bulls and you dump them out with 40 cows, you know, you're not going to get the performance in a lot of situations that you were expecting. So, and you know, I'm conservative, of course, but, you know, I begin to realize, you know, I mean, we do AI, you know, some first and second calf heifers, but that's it. That bull power is the answer to keeping your windows close. You know, you cannot do it, you know what I'm saying, unless you have adequate bull power out there in that pasture to get multi-breds a day, so you can, you know, you got a group of 50, 60 cows in there. You know, you need some real bull power in there to cover them in 60 days. Yeah,
if you think that, oh, I think I can just get by with, you know, just one bull here, you know, I don't really encourage that, because like I said, you know, if you had something happens to that bull, you know, or if you have a large group of cows and you have a couple bulls and you're like, well, I think they'll cover them just fine, you know, but if something happens to that bull and you may not even realize it, and then heck, half your calf crop might be gone.
And Dakota, it is going to happen. I don't care who you are or what kind of management you have.
Things happen.
Things happen, and you know, you lose with the input cost the way it is. You lose, you know, maybe not a calf crop, but you get these cows out of sync. We've worked a lifetime trying to get, you know what I'm saying, smaller windows, and if you got a bull go bad, you know, gets hurt, and then all of that stuff happens. It's a very costly maneuver. So even though you might have to spend another, you know, XYZ grand, look at the value right now at 40 cows and what they are and what their offspring is worth. You know, it's they always used to say the bull should be worth, you know, it's half your herd. You know what I'm saying?
It's honestly probably more than that.
Right, but you know, sometimes it's hard to justify all of those costs. But you know, it's extremely valuable.
That is right. We encourage, you know, everybody that buys one of our bulls, you know, if you ever have a problem with it, you know, just let us know. You know, we try to take care of. That's pretty much our number one thing is customer service. You know, we want everybody to come back and buy another bull. So if they have a problem with it, we try to take care of it.
Sale coming up Saturday. We're going to take Gracie. You got to do this kind of quickly because, and we're going to come back with I'm sorry, Dakota. You know, you look. You know,
I get it all the time.
It's all good. You know. We're going to come back with him shortly, but tell us what else is going on.
The Liberty Baptist Church outside of Owensville is having a bluegrass gospel music on Saturday, October 22nd. That starts at 6:30. They will have refreshments there, and the offering for the band will be taken. The Owensville Lions Club is having a trivia night Saturday, October 15th. Doors will open at 6. Trivia starts at 7. $100 for a table of 8, and that'll be Halloween-themed prizes. This Friday night at the White Mule, we will be serving steak, Italian cheesy chicken, grilled shrimp, beef kebabs, and country fried steak from 5 until 8:30. Saturday is pizza, wings, and hamburgers from noon until 5, and then our steak dinners after that. Sundays, all you can eat pan-fried chicken from 11 until 3:30.
You're doing that even without notes, you know? You're getting it down.
Looks like she's done that a time or two.
I think so, maybe. Dakota, it's a pleasure to know you. It's a pleasure to know your family. Tell your grandpa hello.
I'll do
and,
that.
Shake his hand for me and tell him I appreciate everything he does and have did. And you know, the real asset here is your grandma to a lot of degree. You know
She
what
puts
I'm
up with a lot. She puts up with a lot.
We know that the women are the core of a lot of these institutions, and your family is no different.
Yep, definitely wouldn't be possible without him.
No. So God bless you. I hope you all the luck in the world, and you will have a phenomenal sale. There's no question about it all. I'll do my best to get down for a little bit, eat lunch at least, or
come
whatever.
down and have a burger.
You know, Dakota Gerloff.
Thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
And you are invited back anytime. And let's not just do sale day, because
Right.
we can talk. We can talk
for
about
days. We can talk for days.
Hey, great for you to be along today. We appreciate you being here on KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, or Facebook Live. And we will be back next week. And
Rich, maybe.
Rich, maybe from Lakeside Printing. Hopefully he'll be able to be with us next week, and we'll talk about printing. We'll see you soon. God bless you, and go out and enjoy this wonderful weekend ahead, and God bless.
Ukraine.